Let me ask you something right at the top. If someone told you that a celebrity had worn 3,000-year-old asterisk artifacts to a movie press event, not replicas, not vintage-inspired pieces, but actual asterisk real objects pulled from the ground in the ancient Near East, what would be your first reaction? Because that is exactly what happened in London this July. And depending on where you stand, your reaction to that sentence is probably very different from the person sitting next to you. Some of you are already thinking, "That's incredible, what a way to honor the past." Others are already thinking, "Wait, how did those artifacts leave their country of origin and end up on someone's ears?" Both of those reactions are valid, and this story contains room for both of them. My name is not going to be the one that tells you how to feel about this. But what I am going to do is make sure that by the time this video is over, you understand exactly what happened, why it matters, and why this conversation is bigger than one celebrity, one movie, and one pair of earrings. Because trust me, it really is, so let's go. July 5th, 2026, London, England. Christopher Nolan's much-anticipated film The Odyssey, his adaptation of Homer's ancient Greek epic, is getting ready to open in theaters. Zendaya, who plays Athena in the film, shows up to a photo call. For those who aren't familiar, a photo call is a formal press event. Cameras everywhere, every outfit documented, every detail scrutinized. It is fashion as public statement. She is wearing a white dress by the French luxury brand Jacquemus. Clean, elegant, ethereal, everything you would expect from someone portraying a goddess on screen. And if you know anything about how Zendaya's press tour are put together, you know that her stylist, Law Roach, doesn't do anything by accident. Every look during The Odyssey campaign has been built around a goddess-inspired theme. Flowing fabrics, ancient gold tones, mythological references woven into the fashion choices. It has been, by any honest measure, one of the most visually cohesive and deliberately constructed press tour in recent Hollywood memory. But then, the earrings. A pair of earrings made by London jeweler Glenn Spiro. At first glance, stunning gold discs, diamond detailing, 18-karat yellow gold. The kind of piece that looks like it belongs in the pages of a luxury editorial, and then people started researching them. And the story behind those discs changed everything. Those gold medallions are not decorative, they are not reproductions, they are not inspired by the ancient world, they are the ancient world. The discs date back to the first millennium BC, making them approximately 3,000 years old. They are part of what historians and archaeologists call the Ziwiye Hoard asterisk, also known as the Ziwiye treasure. And here is the first thing I want you to actually learn from this video, because it is fascinating history that most people have never heard of. According to Britannica, the Ziwiye Hoard is a collection of Median period art dating to the 7th century BCE. Let that sink in. The 7th century BCE, that is roughly 2,700 years ago. We are talking about a period of history before the height of classical Greece, before Alexander the Great, before Rome as we know it had taken full shape. The Medes, the civilization responsible for this art, were one of the most powerful empires in the ancient Near East at the time, and they left behind extraordinary craftsmanship that archaeologists have spent decades trying to understand and document. The hoard was discovered in northwest Iran in the late 1940s, and this is an important detail because these objects have a clear, documented geographic origin. They came from Iranian soil. They represent Iranian cultural heritage. They were created by a civilization that lived and flourished in what is now the modern nation of Iran. That geographic and cultural lineage is not ambiguous. It is established historical fact. Now, how does an object that was in the ground in Iran in the 1940s end up as earrings at a London photo call in 2026? That is the question this story asks. And the answer to it runs straight through the international art and antiquities trade, which is one of the most legally and ethically complex markets in the world. Glenn Spiro, the London jeweler who designed these earrings, is not an unknown figure. He is a recognized name in the world of fine jewelry, known for incorporating extraordinary and historically significant materials into wearable pieces. The earrings Zendaya wore are believed to be part of a collection he created called Asterisk Materials of the Old World, a body of work that, according to reporting by Only Natural Diamonds, brought together some of the rarest and most historically loaded materials imaginable. A 62-karat Colombian emerald, gold from the West African Bayele tribe, and these medallions from the Ziwiye Hoard. In 2025, Spiro gave an interview to Galeria magazine in which he described his vision for this kind of work. He said, and I want to quote this exactly, "You can wear something around your neck that dates back thousands of years, but is still contemporary and cool." Now that quote, let's talk about it, because it is doing a lot of work in this story. Read from one angle, that is the statement of an artist who has a profound relationship with history. Someone who believes that ancient objects are not just museum pieces, that they can have a living, breathing, ongoing cultural life when placed in new contexts. There is a genuine school of thought in the art and jewelry world that says, keeping these objects wearable, keeping them visible keeps the conversation about them alive in a way that a museum case sometimes cannot. But read from another angle, and this is where you have to be honest with yourself. The phrase, contemporary and cool, can feel like it flattens something that is deeply and profoundly weighty into a style moment. And for people whose cultural heritage is at the center of that style moment, that flattening is not a small thing. Both readings of that quote are fair, and the tension between them is exactly what this controversy is built on. By the time these earrings were worn by Zendaya, they had already changed hands. A fine jewelry brand called Barron London had acquired them from Glenn Spiro. And when the controversy began to build online, Barron London did put out a statement, which I think deserves to be read and thought about carefully, because it is not a throwaway PR response. They told CNN that the ancient discs are held in what they described as a simple, non-invasive claw setting, specifically engineered to not alter or damage the original objects in any way. This detail matters, because there is a legitimate distinction between, say, grinding down an artifact to make it fit a modern mounting, which would be an act of destruction, and placing it in a holding mechanism that supports it without touching its original surface. Barron London is claiming the latter. They are saying that the physical integrity of these 3,000-year-old objects has been preserved. And if that is true, it is worth acknowledging. The statement continued by saying, and again, quoting directly, "Cultural heritage rightly inspires important conversations, and we welcome informed dialogue about provenance, preservation, and the appreciation of exceptional craftsmanship." The word provenance in that sentence is significant. In the art world, provenance refers to the documented history of an object, where it came from, who owned it, how it was transferred. It is one of the central legal and ethical concepts in the debate over cultural artifacts. The fact that Barron London is using that word tells you they know exactly what kind of conversation they are walking into. And then they did something that moved this beyond art and fashion, into the realm of active geopolitics. Their statement also said, "At a time when Iran is frequently viewed through the lens of contemporary events, we hope these earrings can serve as a reminder of the country's enduring artistic, cultural, and historical legacy." Let me explain why that sentence carries so much weight. According to People magazine, as of this coverage in July 2026, the United States, Israel, and Iran are engaged in an active armed conflict that began in March of this year. That war is ongoing. Real people are dying. Communities are being devastated. And the Iranian diaspora, Iranian people living all over the world, far from their homeland, are watching all of this unfold with profound grief and fear. Into that context, Barron London is essentially saying, these earrings are not just jewelry. They are a statement. A reminder that Iran is not just a geopolitical flashpoint. It is a civilization with one of the richest artistic and cultural histories on Earth. And that history predates any modern political conflict by thousands of years. Is that a meaningful and important statement? Yes. Is it also, at the same time, a very convenient framing for a luxury brand that has made a business decision to incorporate ancient Iranian artifacts into its product line? Also, yes, I'm not saying Barron London is being dishonest. I am saying that in storytelling and in commerce, context and framing are never neutral, and it is worth holding both of those things at once. Now let's talk about what the internet actually said. Because this story did not stay in art and antique circles, it spread fast. And here is the honest truth, the internet was divided. Genuinely, sincerely divided, not in the way things sometimes get artificially polarized online, but in a way that reflects a real disagreement between people operating from real and legitimate frameworks. On one side, people argued that the visibility these artifacts are receiving is itself a form of cultural honor. Because here is something worth thinking about. Before this controversy, how many people outside of archaeological and art history circles had ever heard of the Ziwiye Hoard? How many people knew about Median period art from 7th century BCE northwest Iran? The answer is very few. And now, because of a pair of earrings worn by one of the most famous women alive, people are Googling it. People are reading about it. People are learning that Iran has a cultural and artistic heritage that goes back millennia. If you believe that visibility equals preservation, that the best way to protect something is to make the world care about it, then there is a real argument that these earrings are doing more for Iranian cultural history this week than a cabinet in a private collection ever could. But on the other side, the critics were just as coherent, and their argument goes something like this. The question is not whether these artifacts are beautiful. The question is not whether the craftsman who made Glenn Spiro's earrings treated them with care. The question is, who has the right to decide what happens to them? One commenter quoted by People put it this way, and I think this is worth sitting with. These 3,000-year-old Iranian earrings should be returned to Iran, or at the very least be preserved in a museum. No one has the right to use such ancient artifacts, as they are extremely valuable and represent an important part of humanity's cultural heritage. That is not an angry comment. That is an principled position, and it is connected to a global conversation that has been building for decades. Here is some context I want you to have, because it is genuinely educational, and it will change the way you see this story. The debate over who owns ancient artifacts, and where they rightfully belong, is one of the defining cultural and legal arguments of the modern era. You may have heard of the Elgin marbles, ancient sculptures removed from the Parthenon in Athens by a British diplomat in the early 1800s, and now housed in the British Museum, despite Greece's repeated requests for their return. You may have heard of the Benin bronzes, extraordinary works of art created in the Kingdom of Benin in what is now Nigeria, looted by British forces in 1897, and scattered across museums in Europe and the United States. Many of those bronzes are finally beginning to be returned, but it took over a century of advocacy to get there. These are not isolated cases. They are part of a pattern, a long, documented history in which objects from the cultures of Africa, the Middle East, Asia, and the Americas were removed, bought, sold, and ultimately incorporated into Western collections under circumstances that, by today's ethical standards, range from complicated to deeply problematic. The Ziwiye Hoard is part of that broader story. The medallions were discovered in Iran in the 1940s, but pieces of the hoard have ended up in private collections and institutions around the world, far from their point of origin. And the question of whether those pieces should be returned, whether Iran has a moral and legal claim to its own ancient cultural heritage, is a question that has not been resolved. It is actively ongoing. That is what makes the image of these particular earrings appearing at a Western film premiere so charged. Because for a lot of people, especially Iranians, the earrings are not just jewelry. They are a symbol of a much older injustice, the removal of cultural property from its homeland, the transformation of sacred history into luxury commodity, the way the past has repeatedly been appropriated by those with the money and the access to do so. Now, where does Zendaya fit into all of this? I want to be really careful here, because I think this is where the discourse online sometimes veered into unfair territory. Zendaya did not design these earrings. She did not acquire the artifacts. She did not set them in gold. She did not make the business decisions around materials of the old world asterisk. She is an actress who showed up to a press event wearing pieces her stylist selected. Law Roach, one of the most celebrated stylists in Hollywood, put this look together as part of a thematic vision for the Odyssey press tour. A vision built around ancient mythology, goddess aesthetics, and historical grandeur, all of which connect directly to the film she is promoting and the character she is playing. Zendaya plays Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war in Greek mythology. And in an interview with *L* magazine from May, she described the role as the perfect pairing, saying, "I don't know what that is, I just feel like I've been here before." She has spoken about how deeply she connected with this character. And against that backdrop, wearing pieces from a collection called Materials of the Old World Asterisk, set with ancient gold medallions, makes a kind of visual and thematic sense that you can understand even if you end up disagreeing with the decision. But, and this is important, understanding how a decision was made is not the same as saying it was the right call. And I think the most honest thing we can say about this specific situation is, in 2026, with the level of global awareness around cultural repatriation that now exists, the ethical question of whose artifacts these are asterisk probably deserved more deliberate examination before the photo call than it received. Not because anyone involved is a bad person, but because the world has changed. The conversations we are having about cultural ownership are louder, more urgent, and more informed than they have ever been. And when you operate at Zendaya's level of visibility, on a stage as big as a Christopher Nolan press tour, every choice lands in that world, whether you meant it to or not. So here is what I want you to take away from all of this. Not opinions, but actual knowledge. The kind of knowledge that will make you a more informed person in every future conversation about art, culture, and history. The first thing is this. The international art trade has a complicated relationship with cultural property that goes back centuries. Many of the most celebrated objects in major Western museums and private collections came from other countries under circumstances that would not pass legal or ethical scrutiny today. The conversation about returning those objects, repatriation as it's called, is one of the most important cultural discussions of our time. And it is gaining momentum. It is not going away. The second thing is this. The Ziwiye Hoard and the Median civilization that created it represents one of the ancient world's great artistic traditions. Iran's cultural heritage does not begin and end with what you see in the news today. It goes back thousands of years. It includes extraordinary art, architecture, literature, and science. And that history belongs to Iranian people, wherever in the world they are, and it deserves to be known, respected, and in many people's view, protected. The third thing is this. The question of asterisk, how asterisk ancient objects are best preserved and honored, is genuinely unresolved. There are people who argue in good faith that placing these medallions into jewelry, treating them with physical care, keeping them visible, keeping them in conversation with the living world, is a form of stewardship. And there are people who argue, equally in good faith, that the only rightful home for objects like this is the country they came from, or at minimum a public institution that offers access to everyone. These are not fringe positions on either side. They are the positions of serious scholars, legal experts, and cultural advocates who have spent their careers thinking about these